All right, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, we are going to take a quick break from the competitor series, but don't worry, I'm still going to do two more videos I have planned for the competitor series, one on Enel and the other on Green Jewelry Bonnie. But we're going to take a quick break in the middle there because honestly, guys, I just ran out of time. You know how the holidays are, so we got a quick little filler video we're going to go over first. But I think it's going to be pretty good, a pretty good video, especially in light of the competitor series we're doing. We're going to be breaking down a game of Blackbeard versus Blue Doffy from the East. Okay, so I think we could get quite a bit out of this video. But don't worry. After today's video, then we should be back on track to finish out Enel and then Green Jewelry Bonnie. Okay. All right, now let's go ahead and get into today's video. This is all we had planned for today. We're going to be breaking this video down. I'm going to be basically commentating over top of it and all that good stuff. And I'll have everything timestamped in the general description if there's anything to timestamp down there. And, you know, if there's any kind of relevant deck list or links or things like that, I'll have that down there as well. Okay? All right, let's get into this, guys. Let's do it. So here we go. Volume is off. The speed is on 2x, and we are good to go. All right, guys, let's do this. So I do have this in 2x speed when I review these, right? So I am going to be doing a lot of pausing and talking over it. So first things first, the Blue Doflamingo player, they're going to get to go first, and they're going to start off with a Perona, turn 1. I actually think that that's very important in this matchup. Going first, getting down the Perona, and then making it where you can get two characters in, you know, basically on the field for free every turn while attacking, you know, very aggressively. Even if they turn off your leader effect, or excuse me, your on-play effects with their leader, with Blackbeard's leader effect on turn 2, that's still fine as long as we can keep filling out the board, flooding the board. So let's see what happens. Turn 1, going first is the Blue Doffy. They play out a Perona. Let's see what they look at here. Let's see what they see in their the cards. Okay, and that is a very good pull, by the way, especially if they weren't playing against Blackbeard. There's a Jinbei in there to set. There's two 2K counters if they need those. Jozu and a 7-cost event. But I will say this. Against Blackbeard, this is not the absolute best possible situation. Because I think you really just want to cheat out the 6K bodies as much as possible to keep on the pressure and to be able to defend them a little bit easier. However, this is still fine, and I think the way that I would do this is I would probably push the Gravity Blade to the front, and then I think I would make it where I push out a the Jinbei on next turn, and then on the following turn I would probably draw a 2K counter, and then have it where I can cheat out the other 2K counter. Jozu, I don't think will get much value in this game. I could be wrong. We'll have to see what happens. But here we go. Let's see what they decide to do with this hand. Yep, they want that Gravity Blade. I agree with that 100%. That will come in very handy. Getting rid of double Burgess is massive. So what did they do? Sorry, guys, I missed it. Let's go back. So this is exactly how I said it, guys. So they're basically going to go, okay, I get a Gravity Blade, and then on next turn, I draw the Gravity Blade for the turn. I'm going to cheat out the Jinbei. And then if my opponent does not use their leader effect, I'm going to really punish them. But even if they do, it doesn't matter. The next turn, I'm going to draw into a Jozu just for counter power, and then I'm going to cheat out a Crocodile. The only thing I would have done differently is I would have changed the place of the middle card, Jozu, and the last card, Crocodile. But to be fair, I also don't know what is in the hand of the Doffy player. I did not check that yet. We will check that in just a second. Okay, so it looks like, okay, they have another Perona, a Sengoku, a 4-cost Law, and a Gecko Moria. Very nice. And on the Blackbeard side, they have the Stage, they have Doc Q, they have the 4-cost Burgess, the 1-cost, or no, excuse me, I think that's a 4-cost Shigan Finger Pistol, and then 10-cost Blackbeard. Okay, let's see what they draw for the turn. Okay, and they get a Stronger. They get Stronger. Very nice. They're going to play out Doc Q, immediately getting rid of that. I do agree with that. Trashing a card immediately. Okay, notice that, guys. Very well played. A lot of people might not have wanted to go turn 1 using the stage like that, or not using the stage, trashing the stage to use the leader effect for Blackbeard. But if you don't, they are going to play out a Jinbei pretty much every time, right? They're going to set the Jinbei. You just have to assume they have Jinbei, and going too wide on the board like that early on is going to be Blackbeard's demise. So I do agree with that. I don't know if I would have trashed the stage this early, but at the same time, we'll have to see if that pays off in the end. Okay, so yeah, we already have everything lined up. Yeah, he's thinking about it. No, it's just obvious. You swing in with there, you play out the Jinbei, your turn, got to swing for 7. Swinging at the body, though, was very interesting. That did slow down the tempo of the Doffy player, but I think it was necessary. Yes, they got to draw a card from that, but if you leave that card on the board, guess what's going to happen? They're going to start using their Laboons, they're going to start getting their Van Augers, things like that to start removing your board. So it's like, if you have the opportunity, just do it anyway. Just do it anyway. Okay, so here we go. Especially when you imagine they're going to draw a card anyway, you know, for the actual, you know, if you attack, it looks like he forgot to draw for the turn. He drew a card from the dock queue on KO effect. But here's the thing. If he had not swung into the dock queue, which on KO draws a card and has potential removal going forward, if he did not do that and he attacked 7 into face, just take it and they draw a card anyway. Yes, it does get them 1 life lower, but at the same time, that is a, you know, that is something you're going to have to analyze with each matchup if you think it's worth it or not. I think it was absolutely worth it. So they get a Lafitte here. They have the new 5-cost Kuzan in hand as well. Guys, that new Kuzan, I'll bring it up on the side real quick. Hang on 1 second. Let me show you guys what that does, because it is very important. This new Kuzan card is actually very, very relevant. We're going to read that real quick. Let me exit out of full screen here and bring this over. Give me just a moment so you guys can see it. I can't just edit these into the video today. I'm just running too far behind. But this is the new Kuzan card. It is a 5-cost. It's a 5-cost 5K, which the stats are not great. It doesn't have a 1K counter, but listen to what it does. It's former Navy Blackbeard Pirates type. This character cannot be removed from the field by your opponent's effects. So literally, unless they have a way to rest this character and attack into it to remove it, it cannot be removed by your opponent's effects. And then activate main, you may trash this character to draw a card, and then play up to 1 Blackbeard Pirates type character card with a cost of 5 or less, other than Kuzan, from your trash. So this is an excellent new tool that Blackbeard got, and I should have mentioned this, guys. This video was from 2 weeks ago, this one we're watching from this tournament. So this has all the new OP10 cards legal in it from, you know, because they're in the East. Okay, so let me go and just leave this up here for now. We can come back to it later. All right, so now back to the game. So they're gonna the Blackbeard player swung for 7. They're gonna play out Lafitte, and they're gonna pay 2 basically to play out the searcher, then rest it. There goes a Laboon, and he cannot search up the Laboon. That is not a Blackbeard Pirates type card. He's going to get another dock queue. I think that's the right call. And by the way, we swung 7 into the Jinbei, it looks like. Trashing Blackbeard for the turn, for the leader effect. Now we get no on-play effects. And here we go. All right, there goes that guy. Going to play out the just hard casting Perona with no effect. No on-play effect because of Blackbeard locking the on-play effects down for the turn. But we have to go wide. We have to go wide on the board. That's our only chance. Okay, let's see what happens next. They have double Burgess in hand. They're on a 6-dawn turn, swing 5, so they want a 6-dawn play here. 2 costs, pop that, then play out a Burgess more than likely. Oh, they have a Shigan Finger Pistol. I forgot about the Shigan Finger Pistol. I was going to say they're probably going to play out a Burgess. Seems good, though. Instead, they just go ahead and, okay, wow. So they go ahead and pop the other 4 costs behind the board with the Shigan Finger Pistol. Now they're going to trash a Burgess for the turn. So that way they, you know, to turn off the on-play effects from the Doffy. Now, with all these attacks into the board, it is actually starting to slow down. Look at how small the hand is. Well, first of all, of each player, but mainly of the Blackbeard player. They only have 3 cards in hand. And now it's probably going to be swing 5 into dock Q. You cannot let that card survive. You have to get rid of it. You have to swing into dock Q. Yeah, the Doffy player, I think, is more annoyed than anything. But remember, I don't know if he remembers or not, but there's another, card, whatchamacallit, the 2K counter guy. I believe there's another crocodile on top of his deck, right? I could be mistaken. I lost a little bit of track of that when we were talking about Blackbeard. But I believe he still had, he had 2 crocodiles in a row. So let me see something real quick. What did he draw for the turn? What did he draw from life? That's what I really need to know. Okay, he drew a Jozu from life. So he has a crocodile that he's going to get from the top of, from the top of his deck here. Okay, remember he removed all those characters. Pop that, trashing those 2, trashing the Burgess for the turn. And then to turn off our on-play effects, that's fine. But now it's going to be draw into a crocodile. And now remember, the next card is a crocodile. We know what it is. We set it there with the first Perona from the game. So I think we should just play that out, right? I think we should literally just, you know, swing 7 with leader using the effect to cheat out the other crocodile, and then just play out a 4-cost card, maybe the Gecko Moria, I would probably do the Gecko Moria instead of the Crocodile, because I think a 2K counter is a little more important in this situation. Okay, so swing 7 into the Dock Q. They're really deep in the tank about this. I don't know what other option they're trying to do. Are they just trying to hard cast a 1-cost Sengoku? But remember, there's no on-play effect. There's the Crocodile. They get rid of that, draw from it, play out the Gecko Moria. Very nice. I do agree with that decision there 100%. And they're gonna draw into a Vasco shot for the turn. I believe they drew a Vasco shot from the Dock Q on KO effect, and then for the turn as well. So very, very nice. That card will come in very handy, or at least it should. It should. We'll have to see what happens. Okay, so they've got Burgess on the Burgess in hand, stronger. They have 5-cost Kuzan and double Vasco shot, and they have 8 Dawn this turn. They're going to swing for 7 into a 5K. They're going to let it go, play out the Kuzan, KOing it immediately, playing out a Burgess from the trash, drawing a card from the effect. They draw into another Burgess. Very, very strong. But hey, that's fine. We have a way to deal with Burgess in our hand. They trash one of the Burgess from their hand to turn off on play effects for the turn, and now we are on a 9 Dawn turn for the Doffy. I think we should go as wide as possible here. Maybe just go swing 6 with Leader, 6 with Gecko, and then play out the 6-cost Jozu. Maybe not, actually. Maybe we don't swing with the Gecko. Force them to have removal in hand. But I would attack with the Leader here for probably... Actually, so that would leave... If we're on our 9 Dawn turn, we only need 6 Dawn. So maybe we swing for 7. Oh, wow. Okay, swing for 5. Which will probably go through. They're going to give a 1K counter Vasco shot, it looks like. Sure. Doffy will not be upset with that interaction there. With that... That was very much, I think, in Doffy's favor there. Yeah, I would not counter out of this if I was the Blackbeard player, personally. They're playing with 1 Dawn. I don't know what they're doing with that. I have no idea. Okay, here we go. Gives him a Vasco shot. Goes down to 3 cards. So swing for 7. That was a blind rip Jinbei, by the way. Play out the Jozu. Very, very nice. We take those. So that did go in the favor of the blue Doffy player. And I just don't think he should have countered out of that first attack. I would have taken both of them down to 3. And this turn I would have swarmed the board as best as I could with the Burgess, with the 2-cost Vasco shot. He's trashing a card with the stage. He trashed the stage with a Leader effect. Okay, pause. He did that before combat to buff his Burgess up to 1, 2, 3, up to an 8K. So he swings 8 into 5. The Doffy player lets it go. I had a feeling it was going to come back to kind of hurt the Blackbeard player here, trashing the 10-cost Blackbeard early on. Because this turn could have been swing 5 into Gecko, swing 8 into Jinbei, play out the 10-cost Blackbeard, and lock down the other attack, and you have this massive blocker. I feel like that's what should have been done, but who knows? I don't, I'll tell you what, this guy probably knows Blackbeard a lot better than I do, but that's the route that I would have taken. That's just me personally. And another thing too, guys, is at this point, notice on the screen, let me pause one more time. Notice on the screen, guys, the guy on the left was 9-0 in the Swiss, and the Blackbeard player was 8-1. So you have to imagine these guys are starting to experience some major fatiguing, right? I mean, you would expect that to happen, at least with the normal human beings that the rest of us are, right? Okay, so here we go. Gonna pay 5. Gonna get the other Kuzan here. Drawing a card, cheating out the Burgess. Very nice. Getting a Van Augur. Not ideal, actually, but I think it might be his best play. It looks like he might play out a Vasco shot. Yeah, swing 8, play out Vasco shot, and pass. I think I might have just swung 5 into the Gecko there and gone for a Van Augur play. Just drop the 5-cost Van Augur and say, okay, I've got some threats on the board, because we know what's in our Doffy players' hands. The Doffy players' hands, they have a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. So those Burgesses, they're gone. They're not going to survive, right? Swing 7. Okay, he knew he was going to take that. Swing 7, Leader effect. Very nice. Gets Trafalgar Law, blind rip off the top. You love to see it if you're a Doffy player. Bottom decking the 2 Burgesses. And remember, we have no stage going right now. I think we might have seen 1 Lafitte this entire game. None of the 1-cost counter yet. I don't know if they're running that anymore. There might not be enough room in Blackbeard in the deck to run the 1-cost. Okay, pause real quick. We're about to talk about the card on the screen right here. We're about to, or excuse me, what was I going to say? they might not have enough room in the deck to run the 1-cost event anymore. Now, let's go ahead and check out this card that's on the screen real quick, guys. It is another Blackbeard Pirates type card. Let me go to OP10. It is a new event coming out called Liberation. It's a 6-cost event called Liberation. And look at this, guys. It's actually not very useful in this situation, unfortunately. It is a 6-cost event. Blackbeard Pirates effect is main. If the number of your characters is at least 2 less than the number of your opponent's characters, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less, and up to one of your opponent's characters with a base these are both of these are base costs, by the way, with a base cost of 6 or less, or a base and with a base cost of 4 or less. Well, here's where that's an issue. We don't have less or 2 less than our opponent. We only have 1 less character than our opponent because we have the Vasco shot on the board. So that Liberation card is actually completely dead in hand. But otherwise, it would be actually perfect. It would be so perfect right here because they have a 6 and a 4-cost character on the board. But it is what it is, guys. We actually can't mess with that. So here we go. That's just a dead card in hand. He will probably be trashing that with the Leader's Effect this turn to turn off on plays for the Doffy players next turn. Okay, so what are they going to do here? This is a very tough situation. 10 Dawn turn. They have no 10-cost Blackbeard. If you don't have 10-cost Blackbeard, then why are you even running the deck, right? And I know he hasn't. We've already seen one in the trash. But that is the #1 idea behind running Blackbeard, is just to start chaining those 10-cost Blackbeards together one after another. The Doffy player has to be picking up on this, thinking to himself, like, wait a minute. How is there any other play other than swing 5 into my Trafalgar Law and then drop a 10-cost Blackbeard, locking down my Jozu and blocking 1 attack next turn? That's just the obvious play, right? There is no other play in this situation, unfortunately. So he is going to smash in for, what is that? That's 11 into 7. He's swinging 11 into 7, 2K, 2K, 1K, getting out of it. Wow, guys, that was massive. Okay, playing out of Burgess. I understand that. There's not really anything else in this player's hand. We're going to talk about cards I think he should have been trashing later. He trashes a Van Augur here instead of Liberation. I don't understand the logic there, because at least Van Augur is a 1K counter and a potential body. I don't know if we're ever going to get a chance to use Liberation, though. I mean, we may not. We'll have to see what happens. And guys, one more thing I will say while we're waiting for this next turn. We're on the Doffy player's turn here. Swing 7. Yeah, just do face checks here. Yep, swing 7, swing 7, swing 7. It's just going to be face checks all day. Okay, yeah, it looks like they're going to use the blocker here because they do have Liberation in hand. But here's the thing. That, whatever his name is there, the 4-cost Burgess, he's not going anywhere, right? Because the on-play effects have been turned off for the turn. There's an argument that he should not have even turned off on plays for the turn, so that way this card could get Jozu'd or Trafalgar Law'd back to hand. At the same time, it could be punished in another way, playing out Boas and Jinbeis and crazy stuff like that. I understand, but at the same time, not having that 10-cost Blackbeard for this turn is just, we're in a tough spot. Okay, so let's see what the Doffy player does now. They did a face check for 7. I would have honestly just did a face check for 5, 5, 7, and then played out a 5-cost, the 4-cost, and the 6-cost. It's that simple for me, guys. It's that simple. But let's see what happens. Okay, he's checking how many cards are in his trash. Thank you very much. It's a lot. That's the answer. So that Burgess is probably a 9K at least. Yeah, let's see. 1, 2, 3, and... oh, no, excuse me. It's almost a 9K. It's an 8K. It's an 8.5K right now, guys. That's an 8.5K. Because it needs two more cards in the trash to get up to 9. But no, seriously, it's just an 8K. So here we go. Going to swing in for 6. Very interesting. Going to swing in for 7. Blind Rip gets... Wow, gets the 2-cost Marshall D. Teach off the top. Slam down Jozu. It's over, guys. I can almost tell you right now, I don't remember or know how this game goes. I could not imagine the Blackbeard coming out of this, making it out of this. So swing for that 5 into there. Now what we can do is do the Liberation to pop those 2. Very nice. Fill up the trash. Okay, make sure the trash. So swing 9 into 7. He had exactly enough to get out of it. Very nice, very nice. But now, can he get out of this last attack here? I think the Doffy player, they can swing for 5 plus 7 is 12, 22. They can swing for 2 11s right here, guys. They're going to go swing 9. Wait, where is this at? Hang on. Did he swing 9 into the... where did he swing 9? 9 at face. He swung 9 at face, And now now he's asking how large is the Burgess now? The answer is, I believe it's a 9K, like we were saying. Actually, let me see something. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he's still just a 9. So now he's going to be able to swing into that, take that out, and play out a character for the turn, potentially. Okay, what is that card on the board? He's hiding the card he has in his hand on the board. It's a boa. He's like, the judge, did you see the judge's hand? Guys, look at this guy. Look at this absolute legend right there. We got to pause it right at the hand if I can do it fast enough. The judge is like, can you please show us the card on the board? You see his hand at the top left? He's like, yeah, please put the card in there. We're at the feature match, bud. That guy's probably just laughing, you know, 'cause that's just like player habit, right? That's just player habit. So here we go, guys. I think you just swing 9 into Burgess. There's no way to get around it. Wait. So was on play effects were allowed that turn. Interesting. I didn't even catch that, guys. So I must have missed that. On play effects are allowed this turn. Just going at face here. Just going at face, saying, all right, we're all in. What is that we got from the trash? Or from our life, we got Lafitte. From the turn, we got a. I think you're supposed to get the Burgess there. Honestly, guys, in that specific situation, I would have done Burgess. Okay, top 5 search. Hey, there's all the 1-cost event searchers, right? I see 1-cost event, a Doc Q, a 10-cost, and it was something else I can't quite see. I think one's a Shigan finger pistol. Yeah, 2 1-costs, a Shigan, a 10-cost, and the 2-cost Doc Q. Little too late for those 1-cost events, guys. Those things disappeared. But he needs a blocker. That is what is needed right now. We have the 5. Is that another 5-cost Kuzan in hand? I think it might be. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's another Kuzan in hand. Can't we play that out to get a Vasco shot? Yeah, so draw a card. Play out a Vasco shot. Very nice. Oh, man, unfortunate. We're going to talk about this game in a minute, guys. We're going to really analyze and break it down from the Blackbeard perspective. Have to trash the card for the turn. It must be done. You have no other chance. I think he should have done it last turn, but hey, now it's going to be swing. Yeah, so did you guys see that? So the cards he set on the top of last turn with playing out the, let's go back to the Boa Hancock here. When he played out the Boa Hancock, as you can see in his hand here, Perfume Femur. So he's going to set that as his top life, or a top card in the deck, or maybe the second from the top, because he cheats out the, doesn't he cheat? Yeah, he might cheat out a character here, I don't remember. No, he's just going to smash in for everything, and he has Perfume Femur as the next card. GG, Doffy player wins. That was an awesome game. Now, there's a few things I do want to mention, though. Let's go back towards, excuse me, towards the beginning of this game. All the way back to turn 1, I just feel like there was some greed that happened here. Okay, so here's where the game starts. It was with the Perona. They do the top 5 search. We already went over that. Now, right here, this is the turn that I feel like you have to establish the stage. I think you just have to. Because if you don't start ripping through your deck, excuse me, guys. If you don't start blasting through your deck as Blackbeard, guys, I gotta mute for 1 second, take a sip of my drink. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Still not perfect, but if you don't establish the stage early on and get the searchers going early on, goodness gracious, guys, then you're going to be in trouble. That's the main idea there. 1 more second, guys. Okay. Hopefully that's better, guys. It just has to do with like the throat drying out, and I just had lunch. Maybe that has something to do with it. Now, back to what we were saying. I think the stage is one of the absolute most important cards in this matchup. We want to get down our low-cost bodies early on. And guys, the best cards to counter out with, or excuse me, not counter out with, we want to take, Blackbeard typically wants to take every single hit, because they're playing down cards like, let me hit play while we're talking. Like, watch, he plays this out and KOs that. That's not a bad play. In fact, I think that was actually fine. But then on the next turn, watch what happens. So that gets run into. They play out the Jinbei, and they trash the stage, though. So we do have to go back real quick. After using the effect to pop the Perona, they trash a stage with the leader's effect for the turn. I would have trashed a Burgess or even a 2K counter before I trashed that stage in this matchup. That's just me personally. That stage goes a long, long distance, guys. And hey, go ahead and attack into my life early on so I can replenish my hand, because I have to trash 1 extra card every turn. But guys, trashing the Burgess I feel like would be absolutely perfect, because remember, now we have access to the 5-cost Kuzan that we looked at earlier. And if that happens, if we get access to the 5-cost Kuzan, we play him out, and we get to draw a card from his effect anyway. Okay, so he's filling up cards. You know, he's replacing himself in hand and pulling cards out of the trash. So I think that would have been a slightly more optimal play, is playing out the stage first. But I do like the Dock Q play, playing out the Dock Q first to pop the Perona, turning off the effect for the turn. But again, instead of using the stage here to trash with the leader effect, I would have trashed a 2K counter. And then I would have played the stage on the following turn, not the Burgess. Because watch what happens. Excuse me, watch what happens next. He attacks in, he draws a card from the, so the Doffy attacked into the Dock Q, that was sideways. That has an on KO draw card. Then he draws a card for the turn after playing out the Jinbei that he had set there from the Perona from the top of his deck. And look at this, guys. We have the 5-cost Kuzan in hand. We have a 10-cost Blackbeard in hand. We don't need this Burgess. Like, we need to play out the Lafitte this turn and the stage. Can you imagine if this turn, so everything happened the way we said, but instead of trashing the stage, imagine if we trashed the 2K counter instead. Well, now we'd be able to go Lafitte, do a top 5 search, stage, do a top 3 search. We would have just gone through 8 cards, and they still have to attack into the Lafitte, and we'd have 1 Dawn left. We could swing 6 into the Jinbei potentially. Who cares if it gets KO'd or not? It doesn't matter. Or in fact, I'm going to say this instead. I just thought of this. On a 4 Dawn turn in the situation we're in, swing 7 into the Jinbei, and then play out the Lafitte and play out the stage. And then we could have trashed the Burgess or the Stronger or whatever, anything but the 10-cost Blackbeard and the stage. You know what I mean? I feel like those are the cards we should be hanging on to the most. So let's just look at a few more things I do want to mention here. So he does a top 5 search. He grabs another Dock Q. That was very solid. And again, if he could have followed up with the stage right here instead of playing out the 1-cost Lafitte, I think it would have just been so good. And let me just see if there's anything else. I want to go to where he trashes the when does he trash the Burgess? That's not the Burgess, the Blackbeard. So right here, guys, he trashes the Blackbeard on turn 2. Right? Am I seeing this correctly? We're on 4 Dawn over here. Yeah, so they were on their 3 Dawn turn. We're on our 4 Dawn turn. Trashing the 10-cost Blackbeard this early on. If you had 2 in hand, absolutely. If you have 2 in hand, absolutely. But not if you don't have 2 in hand. I don't know. Maybe he's playing around like the idea of like Red Rock or something. But still, if you play out the Blackbeard, it's just too good at what it does. Even if they have a Red Rock, that's going to be pretty much their entire turn. One of their characters can't attack. And then their leader can, you know, they're just stuck with like a leader attack more than likely. One more thing I want to mention on this matchup before we wrap it up is because we have Liberation now, that didn't sound right, but because like Liberation is a card now for Blackbeard, the 6-cost event for OP10, not in OP09, not in the West yet, but in the East, in OP10, they have Liberation. We actually want them to kind of get a little board, right? Let them invest a little bit in the board. Let us draw more cards from our life to keep our hand size relevant. Keep taking the on-play effects away. And then, oh, you have 4 cards on the board and I have 2? Okay, Liberation, pop your 2 cards, and I'll go about things that way. That's how I think they should have played it. But again, after going 8-1 for the day in a very serious tournament, a very high stakes, you know, like, or not, I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but like a tournament that has a lot, you know, a lot riding on it. He was probably just tired, guys, because I do think it's going to be a lot harder to play Blackbeard at a tournament and go 8-1 than it is for a Doffy, you know, for Doffy to play in and go, you know, well, I think going 9-0 is just impressive anyway. Going 8-1 is impressive, period. But I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. There is such a thing as tournament fatigue, where if you're playing a aggro deck at a tournament, you're going to experience less fatigue in general. Not always. There's always, you know, excuse me, you know, how do you say it? There's always exceptions. But generally speaking, aggro decks means you're going to win fast or lose fast. Well, if you're playing a control deck all day, you're going to have the longest matchups and so on and so forth. It just gets really tiring, really, it becomes really taxing on you mentally. So, yeah. All right, that's enough. I'm going to end it there. Big grats to the Doffy player. Let's go to the very end where we were, where it said winner. Okay. And there it is. Boom. Winner, Doffy. Very good matchup there. Tell me what you guys thought about this matchup. Tell me what you think about, or excuse me, tell me what you thought about this match we just saw, and then tell me what you think about the blue Doffy versus Blackbeard matchup. I've seen people say that Doffy is pretty decent into Blackbeard, and I think he is. I do think he's kind of decent to Blackbeard, and then I've heard some people say that Blackbeard just counters it. I've heard all kinds of different things. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comment section below. All right, we're done, guys. Very short video I'm leaving you all off with today, just around 30 minutes. Let me go ahead and put up the playmat page. Big shout out to everybody who supports me, guys. Whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, just viewing my stuff, I really, really appreciate you. I really appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much. Big shout out to the VV Pirates playmat supporters over here. Hope you guys are enjoying your playmats. And then last but not least, of course, we have the patrons page. Thank you to everybody on here who just donates, guys. Just trying to help out the cause, trying to keep the dream alive, as I like to call it. I really appreciate you guys too. Thank you so much. Okay. No worries. Tomorrow we will be back onto the normal scheduled program. You know, we're going to go into Enel, then Jory Bonnie, and then we'll probably have Red Yellow Sabo update video lined up after that. Okay. All right, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Again, guys, if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, do not hesitate to put those in the comment section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. The link is in the channel description. Come hang out with us on there. It's a chill time on there, guys, but we're talking about One Piece 24/7. So, all right, that's it. Hope y'all enjoyed. Till next time, guys. Peace.